somebody I interviewed on Faith to Action Radio just this week. And she said to me some things as growing up in Austria. She was 12 years old when Hitler took control. And she said there's some similarities that I'm finding. And she'll tell us about those. I remember as she said it on the air. Come on up, Kitty. She said, yeah, just be careful. Don't trip on that. We're very pro-life around here. But one of the things you said, Kitty, to me on the air was that first thing you saw, and I'll let you say it, but the government took over the banks and the auto industry, and then they took over healthcare. She'll tell you a little more, but she said there's one thing that she said that I didn't really, I thought, well, this hasn't happened yet. She says, well, they used to sing praise songs to Hitler at the time. I said, well, at least that hasn't happened yet in our country, and well, as you know, it's happened in an elementary school in New Jersey just within this week about what happened, and the similarities are more stark than you might think. Kitty Workman's going to give us a workshop today and maybe a little preview of what that is.
Thank you. I was born in Austria, and I lived under Hitler's brutal regime for 7 years, and after the World War II, 3 years under Soviet communist occupation. Hitler talked like an American politician. He told us all the good things, what would happen if we elect him. Our economy was on the ground. We had 1/3 of our workforce unemployed. We had 25% inflation. If you borrowed money from the bank, you paid 25% interest. Farmers were declaring bankruptcy and businesses went bankrupt. So we almost had anarchy in our streets. There were two political factions fighting each other. On one side, the Communist Party, which were getting very strong, and on one side, Hitler's party, National Socialist Party. Listen carefully. National Socialist, Nationalsozialismus. National is the word where Nazi came from. So we petitioned our government to have an election, a plebiscite, and we elected Hitler by 98% of the vote. Things happened very fast, almost overnight. Hitler gave us free radios, and then he nationalized the radio station. Our only news what we got. He censored the printed media. Before the papers would hit the street, everything that was against him was censored out. Then he nationalized our only little car industry, the little car we produced, the Steyerwerke. Then he nationalized our banks. First, he looted the banks of who were in Jewish families. And then he nationalized education. Literally overnight, when I walked into my classroom, I attended public school, and we prayed at the beginning of the class, and we prayed at the end of the class, and we had a crucifix up there. The day I walked into my classroom, the crucifix was gone, and there was Hitler's picture and the Nazi flag on each side. And our teacher said, today we don't pray anymore. We sing Deutschland, Deutschland über alles, the national anthem. And we couldn't go to church anymore on Sunday because it was National Youth Day. And it was compulsory. And we were told that if our parents wouldn't let us attend, it would get a letter of warning and a very strict fine or even being jailed. And the teachers were telling us that our parents were old fogies and old-fashioned, and we should only listen to Hitler. He was our future. We were the future of the country. And we were arguing with our parents all the time, but in school they were telling us, don't listen to your parents, they're old fogies, they're old-fashioned, on and on. And as time went along, of course, he also national health care, and it was the worst health care you can imagine. Doctors were being salaried, and they could not practice like we know free enterprise medicine. Many doctors left the country, including my husband. The last was gun registration and gun confiscation. We were totally under dictatorship. Dictatorship didn't happen overnight. It took 5 years, gradually, little by little, from 1938 to 1943, to have a full-blown dictatorship. Those of us who passed the Statue of Liberty, we came to a country of unbelievable freedom and opportunity. America is the greatest country in the world if we can keep it. Thank you.